In the shadowed recesses of human history, certain figures stand out not merely for their heinous acts, but for the chilling messages they leave behind. These messages, often cryptic, taunting, or downright vicious, serve as an eerie testament to the minds of serial killers who sought to communicate beyond their crimes. Today, we venture into the macabre artistry of these notorious figures, whose morbid communications left a mark as indelible as the acts themselves. Our journey begins with the infamous Jack the Ripper, a name that still incites shivers over a century later. In 1888, the shadowy figure haunted the streets of Whitechapel in London, creating a legacy of fear with the methodical murder of several women. What's particularly haunting is that Jack is believed to have authored several letters to the police and the press, such as the Dear Boss letter, in which he coined his own sinister moniker. Though many letters were dismissed as hoaxes, the chilling nature of these communications contributed to a reign of terror that remains unsolved to this day. Fast forward to the mid-20th century, and we find one of America's most infamous unidentified killers, the Zodiac. Operating in Northern California, the Zodiac killer is known for a series of brutal murders committed in the late 1960s to early 1970s. What makes the Zodiac notorious are the taunting letters sent to newspapers, complete with cryptic ciphers and threats of future violence. Some of these ciphers baffled codebreakers for decades, and it wasn't until 2020 that one of the most famous ciphers, the Z340, was finally solved. The Zodiac's arrogance and need for recognition only deepened the public's fear, granting him an almost mythic status. Equally unnerving is the case of David Berkowitz, infamously known as the Son of Sam. In 1976 and 1977, he terrorized New York City, committing a series of shootings that left the city paralyzed with fear. In his letters, Berkowitz addressed the police directly, referring to himself as the demon and taunting the authorities with his plans. His writings were erratic and disturbing, reflecting a deeply troubled mind that found some twisted sense of satisfaction in the chaos he unleashed. These killers, with their unnerving penchant for communication, provide a glimpse into the dark interplay between crime and psychology. Their messages serve not just as evidence of their deeds, but as windows into the disturbed reasoning that drove them. Each letter and cipher, each taunt and threat, was a calculated move, a chilling attempt at control and notoriety. In conclusion, the grim tales of these killers remind us of the eerie symbiosis between horror and human curiosity. The messages they left behind have become subjects of fascination and fear, offering insight yet leaving us with more questions than answers. As we step away from this unsettling exploration, we are left to ponder the depths of the human psyche. How can individuals commit such atrocities? And what compels them to reach out after the fact, seeking contact, attention, and ultimately a form of twisted immortality?